What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. It is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be looking at a series of games between LucifroN and NeV. We're in the map Tal'Darim Altar, spawning in the lower left-hand spawn location. We've got LucifroN, our green Terran player. And then over here in the upper right-hand position is NeV, our pink Protoss player. So yes, this is going to be a Terran versus Protoss, LucifroN versus NeV, starting off on the map Tal'Darim Altar. Game should be getting underway very shortly, as we'll be seeing that first pylon get placed down over here for NeV at 9 supply, and then the supply depot coming out here at 10 supply for LucifroN. And then it doesn't look like any scouts coming quite as of yet. And NeV, a lot of times you will see a Protoss player move out after that 9 pylon scout, especially on the larger maps. But it does look like NeV will be holding off a little while longer, quite possibly waiting until after he drops his gateway until he decides to do that. Obviously the advantage is that you keep that extra probe on the line for a little while longer, and that actually lets you get the gateway just a little quicker than you would otherwise if you moved out with a 9 pylon scout. Obviously, on the flip side of that, you don't get your scouting information quite as early, but it is certainly quite possible that this is something that NeV really isn't all that concerned about, and you can see still holding on to his resources, and I think I may have been wrong. We might be seeing a quick nexus here from NeV. Still no gateway. He's pooling up those minerals, and it looks like he isn't scouting because he wants to get to 400 resources as quickly as possible and drop that nexus. And how risky is this? NeV coming out with a 15 nexus. Very, very risky indeed. One huge advantage that he does have is his opponent there is in the cross-positional spawn location with LucifroN all the way down over here in the lower left-hand position. It's just quite a distance for his units to travel, and that makes early aggression not quite as effective because reinforcements just take a while. Now LucifroN himself will also be expanding, but this will be a 1 Rax into expand. You can see he has opted to go no refinery early on, and that gives him those extra resources to get up that command center nice and early. So both players getting very early expansions, obviously with NeV in the little bit riskier position, but given the fact that LucifroN himself is deciding to early expand, it means that NeV really doesn't have much to worry about, and the fact that he got his expansion before his opponent means that he'll be able to take advantage economically of that much sooner. So NeV starting out in a good position, although it was a risky move. It looks like it will work out for him. The assimilator as well as the gateway now finished. Here comes that cyber core, and then back over here we will be seeing a couple Marines trying to deny the scouting, but he gets up far enough to spot the expansion, and that is really at this point in the game all the intel that NeV needs. He pretty much now is assured that he doesn't have too much to worry about when it comes to early game aggression, and he's got plenty of breathing room basically. And back over here for NeV, you can see working now to saturate that expansion. I do want to check to see, I'm not sure. Let's take a gander. Yes, no scouting has gone on from LucifroN yet. He did not move out with an SCV scout, so he still does not have any idea exactly what NeV will be doing. As a result, he's coming out this bunker just in case he has to deal with early aggression. Now, had he scouted, he would have seen the quick expansion and would have realized that he does not need this bunker. But as a result of no scouting, he is forced to come out with this again, because if NeV were on one base, he could hit him with a 4-gate, and that would be a major problem for LucifroN. And now he's just pretty much trying to make sure that he's going to be okay against that. One Zealot grabbing the tower over here. The SCV scout first moving into the lower right-hand position for LucifroN. He then should be checking the upper right spawn location. And back over here we can see another gateway is coming out for NeV, and not a whole heck of a lot else. He will be opening up with some stalkers. Also, of course, that warp gate research is coming on through. Let's see what else he decides to do. There's the robo. So coming out with that robo, allow him to get that observer nice and early, and quite possibly we will be seeing some Colossus tech. That is certainly a possibility. Look at this! Very early 3rd expansion LucifroN. Such a risky build, especially since he still does not know what NeV is doing. He still doesn't know that there was a quick expansion for NeV, and the fact that he is trying to come out with a very quick 3rd, that's so risky, but that might pay off if NeV doesn't scout that out. So hopefully we do see an observer first thing here from NeV, and that way he can move out across the map and actually get some scouting intel. Now let's see how far that SCV got. He did not make it. SCV ended up getting taken out right around here, and with that, still has no idea what his opponent has. He is not certain at all what he's up against. We got a total of 4 racks in play, finally coming out with the tech lab, so we'll start to get a couple of marauders, as well as get some research there. There's that stim pack research coming on through. Back over here, we see an engineering bay coming out as well. NeV does have a proxy pylon over there, and we'll be starting out with Immortals, actually. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, has not gotten an observer yet, going straight into some Immortal action. So maybe planning to actually hit LucifroN early on, deciding not to bother going with that observer initially. Could possibly still be worried about a little bit of a push. I'm guessing that's why he decided to go Immortal first. Are we going to see a second one, or is he going to get an observer? There's a robotics bay. Very, very quick Colossus here. Not even 8 minutes into the game, and that robotics bay gets dropped down. NeV will be churning out this Colossus very shortly. Second gateway, still not a warp gate. That is really disappointing, actually. Big scan does go down, though, scouting out the expansion. So now finally LucifroN is aware that that expo is up. We have 2 forges also coming out, so we will be seeing some pretty hefty upgrades here from NeV as well. There we go, finally getting that gateway into a warp gate. And also it does appear like we'll be seeing another expansion coming out for NeV. Now back over here you can see the orbital command now finished for LucifroN. Still working on saturating that natural though. Hasn't moved that into an additional expansion quite yet. He is also supply blocked right now, which is really tough to see. We got 3 depots just about to finish though. That's going to alleviate that and allow him to continue up that SCV production as well as the rest of his units. And there's a very, very, very nice upgrade action going on here. Combat shield as well as concussive shell and the level 1 weapons upgrade. Also another engineering bay for even more upgrades. And there's a missile turret to help defend against any DT or to help spot any observers. With that said, still nothing. There it is. Finally, Observer is out here for NeV, moving out across the map. So at long last, he will be scouting out his opponent and figuring out what he is up against. We do see that robotics bay now finished, so we should be seeing that Colossus very shortly. There's the first one right there. Also 1-1 upgrades coming out over here for NeV, and still just sitting on those 4 gateways. So it'll be 4 gate, 1 robo, and again pumping out some Colossus. And there is the 3rd base getting dropped right now for NeV. Observer Scout is right over here, and let's watch it on its journey. See what he ends up scouting here. That is not what I wanted to do at all. Oh my gosh, I'm hitting the wrong button. So moving across, and let's take a look. He should be scouting up and checking that command center very, very shortly. Let's see if that ends up happening. There it is. Command center gets scouted. He's going to continue his journey on through, and he should be spotting also the starport, and there it is. Starport gets scouted, so now he knows, okay, I'm up against Bioheavy, double medevac, Marine Marauders. What I'll be seeing, no big surprises there. Scouting SCV, or probe rather, right outside of LucifroN's base. This is used to see when and if a push does come. We do see over here the LucifroN breaking down those rocks. Looks like he is finally prepared to move on over and lift that orbital command off and drop it right over here. And he's probably going to even pull a bunch of SCVs from this location and get them saturated over here once that does happen. And here comes the push from LucifroN, now moving out to the center of the map. It may just be going for some map control, but he may actually be moving out to try to be aggressive. We'll take a look at the army size. We can see LucifroN at a pretty major advantage, 60 army, as opposed to the 37 of NeV. NeV going very strong in those upgrades here with the thermal lance and the 1-1 upgrades. Luckily for him, though, that 1-1 is just about to finish. That's going to help him a lot during this first engagement. So let's see how NeV is able to do. He's got a pretty small army, and that's a major concern for what he's up against. We've got 0-1 upgrades here for LucifroN, and this bio is very, very deadly. Wants to wait until that thermal lance upgrade finishes before he actually pushes forward. We're going to be sniping some pylons there from the low ground with the vision granted from that medevac. One medevac pulling on down should be dropping in back of the main with that. And the other medevac here with the bulk of the main army. NeV just trying to bolster up his forces. Got a 3rd Colossus just about to pop over here. Also, we'll be rebuilding that assimilator. Got some scouting pylon and stuff action. A whole bunch of stuff going on over here. 2 pylons in that location. Got a pylon over here as well. And then a scouting probe. And I want to take another look here. See if that observer's still chilling around. Yeah, there we go. Observer's down here. Has scouted out that 3rd base. Bio's still dancing around. We'll take another look at those upgrades. We have now got NeV working up to the 2-2 upgrades. He also has the blink research coming out for those stalkers. Now we will be seeing LucifroN attempt to push onto this position. At the same time, drop going on and back in the main, but this is not as much of a concern as this engagement over here is going to be. And it does appear like NeV is aware that this is coming. Stemmed up Bio, drops a Nexus so quick. See you later, Nexus. NeV did not respond in time. Able to deal with this medevac, but losing that expansion was huge. Tremendous loss there for NeV, and he's going to need to do something to get himself back in the game. because he just got set behind tremendously. Now taking a look at the upgrades, it does appear that LucifroN is 1-1, also working his way up to 2-2. In fact, now he is 2-1 with the 2 weapons and 1 armor upgrade. Also, we do have some ghosts coming out and some weapons upgrade for the ships. That, of course, is going to be for those Vikings to deal with those Colossus. That's the entire point of getting that. We've got charge upgrade coming out over here for NeV. 2-2 upgrades also almost just finished and working his way up into Templar Archives, allowing him to get those High Templar and Archons. So again, NeV quite a bit behind and losing that expansion, really going to need to do something to get himself back in the game. We'll take a look at the resources lost so far. As you can see, NeV is behind. The biggest thing, though, is going to be that income disadvantage that he has since he lost this expansion. Really does set him quite a bit behind economically. And here we go, finally moving out with a push to try to retaliate, essentially. He should be likely trying to hit this position and take out this expansion. He clearly knows about it. NeV has had that observer there for quite a while. We'll be seeing engagement in the middle. Vikings leading the way, doing some snipe action on the Colossus. However, very nice concave here for NeV, but we'll be forcing the army back. We saw some major EMPs taking out a lot of the shields of that Protoss army, finally turning around to engage with that bio, and oh no, this is looking a little bit scary here for NeV as the stimped up bio tears through his forces. He loses everything here in the center of the map. And all of a sudden, NeV is in a very bad position. Losing that expansion was bad enough, but he just lost the bulk of his army. Things are not looking good right now for NeV. Taking a look at LucifroN Vision, just wanted to see if there's any drops or anything going on. Doesn't look like it. He's just sticking with his Bioforce, moving across the center of the map, and he's feeling confident to engage. A lot of High Templar coming out. Those are going to go straight into Archons, and here come those Charged Zealots as well, providing a buffer, letting those Archons finish a building there. Nice EMP, doing a lot of damage to those Zealots, dissipating their shields. Getting some snipe action there as well. Now it's just 2 Archons versus the rest of this bio. We should be seeing another wave of Warpins very soon. The robotics gets dropped. Archons forcing the rest of the army back. But again, this is really not looking good for NeV at all. He just has done no damage whatsoever. Nothing he's been doing here so far this game. Besides that engagement and the fact that he took out some of LucifroN's army, he hasn't hit any expansions or really cost LucifroN done much economic damage to LucifroN at all, and that's going to really put NeV quite a bit behind. And he's actually killing off his own pylon there to get himself some better gas gathering. He unfortunately obstructed his gathering over there with that pylon placement. Moving forward with a scouting probe, he spots the forces of LucifroN coming up, so now he knows to prepare to deal with that. Couple more Charged Zealots getting warped in there. LucifroN will be leading the way with the Ghosts to land some clutch EMPs, and let's see where those go. There they are, EMPs going down the entire army, covering everything. That allows that stim bio to work through it very quickly. And again, NeV in a very bad spot as the bio is now pushing up into his natural expansion, and he calls the GG. Alright, my friends, that was it. Game number 1 here between LucifroN and NeV. We will be moving on to game number 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.